I'm an art historian and I work in the Department of Research and Collections. My primary role is to make our digitized collections openly and freely available to the world. And I make research into the powers of digital media and the internet to enable the whole world to access and use the collections of Statens Museum for Kunst. I see myself as a person who builds bridges within the organization because being an art historian, I work with open collections because I love art. And so do my colleagues in the Department of Research and Collections. They're the persons who are hands-on with the collections. They know the artworks like their own pocket. And we're all passionate about our collections and the values that we hold in this trove. Having learned digital media through working with them for 5-6 years at SMK, I have been more and more convinced of the potentials of these new technologies to open up all these values that we have to a much wider audience and to really support the mission of the biggest art museum in Denmark, the State Museum for Art, that this is the best chance we have right now to really get the word out about why we care so much about our collections, how wonderful these artworks are, how full of stories and knowledge and experience, and the next level, that the artworks can be like building blocks in the hands of users. We have experimented on a small pilot scale so far with opening up our digitized collections for free download and reuse. Just 160 images so far of the absolute highlights in our collections. And we want to do that because we want the artworks not only to be something you enjoy passively from a distance, but something you can actually use for your own creativity and learning journey. We've been very inspired by something that Taco Dibbets from the Rijksmuseum said about their open access policy, that once you get to cut and zoom in and work with an artwork, choose the details that you want to take to the next level, make decisions about I want this and I'll cut out this. That's when you get to know an artwork for real. It creeps under your skin and it becomes a part of you. And I think that is a pivotal part of opening up our digitized collections for reuse. This whole mentality paradigm shift is about museums leaving our old role as gatekeepers of our collections and transforming ourselves into facilitators, helpers for the users. The users are the heroes in this narrative, not the museums. There's so much more potential to gain from releasing our digitized collections in the public domain than to keep them close to us. We have evidence from research we've made at SMK that users like teachers, like colleague museums, like students, they waver using our images because it's too expensive or too complicated to get to it, and they find their images elsewhere on the internet. As a state-subsidized museum, that does not support our mission, that people don't use our good quality images. So we should get them out there. A huge challenge for museums in this paradigm shift is that we need urgently to invest in sustainable digital infrastructure to enable users to find and download our assets. That's going to be a big investment for many museums, but we can just see that the museums who have done the footwork, they have digitized their collections, they have tagged their collections, and they have built a user-friendly infrastructure. Those are the ones that are leading the development now. But it's expensive, and it's not so sexy. It can maybe be hard to attract funding for that task, but I think we all need to make an effort to convince the philanthropists out there, the ministries of culture, that this digital infrastructure investment will be the prerequisite for everything we want to do in the future in terms of reaching out and being relevant to users now and next generation. Well, personally, my big passion is to get the entire collections of Statens Museum for Kunst that are in the public domain digitized and made freely available for everyone to use. We really want to support learners, educators, researchers, scholars, developers, creative people, innovative people in doing what they need to do. And we need our entire data set and digitized content that is free of copyright to be available as building blocks for that. I hope to be able to take part in achieving that. I see that with free tools available, people are actually able to unfold their latent creativity, their cognitive surplus, as Clay Shirky coins it, and do stuff that they were not able to do before these tools were available. Just one story from my own life. My husband is a writer, but recently, a year ago, he also became a composer. He has no musical training. He doesn't come from a home with a piano, but he has listened to all of musical history for 30 years. And he has internalized a lot of music, so he has it inside him. Then there's a free software and a community for classical music composing that's called MuseScore. And my husband started using it, and it's so intuitive and it's free that now, a year later, after starting using it, he has written 12 symphonies, lots of chamber music, all kinds of instrumentations. He's working with it every day, and he posts it in this community and on Facebook. And he has gotten a circle of followers who really appreciate his music. And there's a music student in the USA somewhere who said, "I really like your music. I think it's fantastic. Can I offer you to convert the sort of synthetic sound of this freeware to a better sound quality? Because I think your music deserves a wider audience." And this American dude did that and sent it to my husband. And a couple of weeks ago, this piece of music was played on the national radio in Denmark. I think that's a powerful story of how these technologies can unleash creativity and innovation that is just waiting to be used. And I think that's the long-term perspective of what museums and our collections can mean to people everywhere when it's out there in free, reusable digital formats. I don't have the imagination to see everything that can be done, And I want, as a researcher, to delve into that and learn about all these potential use formats once it's out there. Well, since 2011, we have been hosting seminars in Copenhagen called Sharing is Caring, with international and Danish speakers sharing their experiences and knowledge about going open in the GLAM sector. And this winter, 2014, we're coming out with a publication, an anthology called Sharing is Caring, with contributions from international key players in the field, like Jill Cousins from Europeana, Michael Edson from the Smithsonian, Shelley Bernstein from Brooklyn Museum, and a lot of wonderful Danish and Scandinavian cases as well, shedding light on the processes and the necessary steps we need to take in order to become relevant, sustainable institutions in the 21st century. Something that users really need. And the sharing is caring phrase, it's not just cute. It's the idea is that when you digitize cultural heritage, you can share copies without losing them yourself, and everyone can reuse your copies without breaking the originals. So sharing digitized cultural heritage is a way of making it relevant and useful to people, and that way we care for our collections.